when you're having a baby, there's a lot on your mind. At Northwell's Staten Island University Hospital, you can rest easy with our reimagined labor and delivery experience. Our new Grapuso Women and Newborn Center provides private suites, overnight accommodations for a loved one, and a top-level NICU, all powered by the team that cares for the most moms and babies in New York. It's care made for Staten Island and made for you. Visit northwell.edu/newbaby. Staten Island University Hospital. Raise health.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Number one, you have a communist running, and you shouldn't vote for him. He's a disaster. He's leading. He's got the Democrat nomination because that shows you where the Democrats have gone. He actually wants to take over the grocery stores of John Catsimatidis, who's a great guy, a rich guy, grocer, does a good job, wants to take over. He actually called me the other day. He's concerned his stores are going to be taken from him, and they won't be run like John runs them. Believe me, he runs a good operation. But he actually said he wants to run his own grocery stores. No, this is a man who's not very capable, in my opinion, other than he's got a good line of bullshit, and he's convinced them to go with him. Now, as you know, Cuomo, who does have capability, is running, but he got knocked out, and now they're running as you have Eric Adams, the current mayor, you have Cuomo, and you have Curtis Lewa. And Curtis runs every 4 years. He seems to be a fixture on the running scale. But you know, it's I'm not getting involved. But I can tell you this. I used to say we will not ever be a socialist country, right? Well, I'll say it again. We're not going to have, if a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same, but we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to.
What does that mean? That was from today's cabinet meeting. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the fastest hour in American media. I am James Golden, Bo Snerdley. Welcome to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the Tuesday edition. From that cabinet meeting today, we learned other things, including a story that has surfaced, yesterday. It went big, and I elected to ignore it. And I'm going to continue ignoring it after I just do these little two items. The question of the Epstein tapes that have been released, this whole day of video that has been released, and the Justice Department now saying, no, it wasn't a suicide, and no, nobody went in that cell. And no, there was never a clients list after, of course, the client list was on Pam Bondi's desk, supposedly. Yes, Carlos, yes.
What does Princess Di think about it?
What does Princess Di think about it? See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's like to be me. I begin the show talking about a story, and it's just like, who gives a rat's ass what you think? What does Princess Di think about this? We'll have to ask her. You can ask her. We can find out what Princess Di thinks about it. Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead. I guess it doesn't matter what I think about it. Jeez Louise. Anyway. So I was at the... Yes, he is still on her side. So, yes, anyway... A minute is missing from it. And I was watching that story develop. I happen to know some of the people that broke that story, and I was on a text thread as that story was developing, and then boom, it hit, and then it exploded. That there's a missing from the and I didn't mention any of it yesterday. But when Trump was asked about the Epstein thing today, he expressed, the Hill says, exasperation. You're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking. We have Texas. We have this. We have all these things. And people are still talking about this guy, this creep. It's unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein when we have some of the greatest success, also this tragedy. What happened in Texas? It just seems like a desecration to be focused on this Epstein story. So, but then Pam Bondi answered questions, and of course, up comes, well, what happened to the missing minute in this video, this 24-hour video that was released? There's a minute missing. And of course, that was seized upon like, OMG, we have the smoking gun. There's a minute gone from the videotape. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Tuesday sought to tamp down outrage on the right over the Justice Department's recent memo on disgraced financier, and James will add, and accused pedophile and other things, and heavy Democrat donor, let's not forget, Democrat mega, oh yeah, Democrat Party mega donor, funder, backbone Democrat Party, Jeffrey Epstein. The Justice Department and the FBI released roughly 11-hour video recorded outside of Epstein's prison cell door to dispel claims that he did not die by suicide. Some on the far right have seized on the timestamps in the video, which skip from 11:58 p.m. to midnight. It's not just 1 minute, it's 2 minutes. It's 11:58, and then next thing you know, it's midnight. Daggone it. And Pam Bondi said during the cabinet meeting the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he... What? Oh, but the evidence prior to it showed he committed suicide. Now, she says for that minute that was off the counter, every night the video is reset. And every one of these videos that comes from the prison system should have the same missing 2 minutes when the video systems are reset. So we will look to see if that is the case when they come back and say, there's more video, these videos have whatever. I don't even want to know.
It's not like he was dead, alive.
It's I don't care what they say. I don't care if the videos are changed every night at the same time and there are 2 minute gaps on all of them. This is never going, you know that this is always going to be in conspiracy land. Period. And do I have a point of view on it? My point of view now is, frankly, I don't even want to say it. I don't even... There are so many other things right now that I'm dealing with. Did Jeffrey Epstein... Did Vince Foster shoot himself with a gun that had no fingerprints because... Who's Vince Foster? Oh, Carlos. Vince Foster, you'd have to go back to the Clinton years. Let me just explain real briefly. Vince Foster tied up with Hillary, one of the Hillary bigwig confidants in the Clinton White House, all of a sudden ends up deaded in Fort Marcy Park in Maryland. Huge controversy. Yeah, and he was deaded. Apparently he shot himself, didn't have on any gloves, but there were no fingerprints on the gun. So he managed to shoot himself with the gun and not leave fingerprints on the gun. And what we were told at the time was that the fingerprints melted in the sun. The sun, because in the park there was sunlight, and the sunlight got rid of the fingerprints, and that was Vince Foster. That's where this is going. And I don't even really want to relive the Vince Foster thing, ladies and gentlemen. There have been a lot of unfortunate endings with people that have served or known the Clintons in some capacity. In fact, once upon a time, there was a list of all of the people who met unfortunate fates. And hence the term came from Vince Foster on, Vince Foster is claimed to be one of the first Arkancides. An Arkancide. That's because when Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas, and then through the White House years, many people Arkancided. They Arkancided. They were deaded. And I'm not going to go into any details with this stuff because I'm not going to get caught up in the conspiracy loop. So we have covered that. It's about as much as I'm going to cover it. Unless, of course, Princess Di has new information and another point of view, and you, of course, want to know what Princess Di thinks of it, and who cares what James thinks of it. Okay. Moving on, my friends. The federal government has been in, of course, this horror story in Texas is still continuing. Right now, the last count of deaths I had is at 109, and there are still many people missing. The left has not quieted down over it. We will, on the other side of the commercial break, we're going to go to commercials now, Carlos, because on the other side of the commercial break, coming back, we will let you hear voices from the left, our friends on the left, as their continued rants over Texas. And in the news, immigration big today. Karen Bass and her challenge to the federal government. We have all of that and more. So stay where you are. The Tuesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
My friend, we have voices today from your fellow leftists or your leftists or the leftists in America.
I'm going to say it because y'all scary as and I don't give a damn. Them little girls, them people died because of racism, not politics. Boom, I said it. I don't give a And am I sad? No. Nope. Because more YT people will have to DIE in order for mother to what? CARE. I said what the I said. I don't give a and minds are here with me. We voted the correct way. You reap what the you sow. Just the night before the flash flood happened, y'all were okay with mother being stripped away from their motherfucking families and never seeing them again. People being deported. Y'all were okay with that. Be okay with not finding Sarah Lou. Be okay with not finding Billy. Be okay with never seeing them again. Keep that same energy because I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Because I've been reading the comments and the y'all be saying. Y'all didn't give a when it was brown people. We sorry that it's white people now, but that's going to happen. This is going to be a repetitive cycle going to happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until y'all get tired. Racism cost y'all more than y'all thought. Racism wrote that line? Racism wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash. Yeah, racism wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash. And guess who's paying for it? Okay.
Oh, yeah. For any of you people that want to say, oh, well, children don't vote, referring to these Magites and their children that died in them floods, their parents voted for them to die. So take that up with the parents. Bombard them with that. Yeah? Doesn't that make more sense? Ain't that what they say about the immigrants? They subjected their kids to this? Well, guess what? Them motherfuckers that died in the flood subjected their kids to danger. Yeah. What's the difference?
So wait, Texas has been cheering on ICE all across the country, and now y'all want sympathy for a flood? Have you lost your minds?
These people. Have you people.
I don't feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for the mom that had that 4-year-old ripped from her arms and will have to hear her baby scream in her head for the rest of her life. That's who I feel bad for, MAGA. You guys voted to take this National Weather Service away. You guys voted and cheered on those shutting everything down. I don't care about you people. I hope you suffer worse than anyone. I hope the parents of these kids regret every day voting for Donald Trump. And I don't want to hear we don't know who they voted for. It's Texas and it's a camp. And the fact that y'all even want empathy tells me everything. Like, sure, I absolutely hate that kids were lost today and other lives. But you guys have cheered on everybody else's demise. Maybe it's all time we get some popcorn and watch yours.
We should have popcorn and watch the tragedy popcorn, he says. Oh, my friends, this is where some people are at in America. James Golden, it is Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All right, folks, before the break, we heard from some of the TDS voters, some of the MAGA hater voters. Now let's hear from some of their leaders. An example, two of them dealing with the situation in Texas. The first, Stacey Abrams, followed by Eric Swalwell.
What had just happened in Texas, the fact that they slashed the National Weather Service, whether or not that was the direct proximate cause of those deaths, the fact that we're having that conversation is the issue. The fact that we aren't sure is the problem. And so we need to hold to what we deserve. We should not be dissuaded, especially as black women, as women of color, as people of color. We should not be convinced that we don't have power. They are mad at us for a reason. There are enough of us that we can change the outcome of elections, but also change the outcome of power.
I do think as lawmakers, we have a responsibility, though, to look at, did cuts affect the ability for folks on the ground and at the camp to have an earlier, better warning? But this is really going to, should we just attack government for government's sake? And for the last 6 months, we've seen an effort to undermine the hard work of government workers, whether it's air traffic controllers who keep planes from colliding in the air, or FEMA first responders who go into the harshest hit places in America. But if the president's press secretary doesn't like the way this is being described, I would recommend that the president go to Texas and talk to the families and show leadership, because that's what presidents do.
He is going to go. Yeah. I mean, he did say he is going to go. I think the question is then, how do you, I don't know if it's threading the needle. I don't know if it's saying we can have two thoughts in our head at the same time, but how do you not let this become political, but still push for answers?
Right. And again, my job is to make sure that we put resources in place to keep people safe. Our primary job as lawmakers is the safety of the public. And if there's a possibility that cuts at that agency affected the safety of those girls, we should understand that, and we should do better as we make funding decisions in the future. But again, right now, they're still looking for missing people. I understand the sensitivity around the issue. And again, first and foremost, I'm a parent, and this is just heartbreaking, and no parent wants to have to think that this could happen when their kid goes to camp. So lawmakers should get serious about resources we put in place.
The Democrats are determined that they are going to make a case out of no case. We've already demonstrated, ladies and gentlemen, there were no cuts that affected this. There were no cuts that affected the National Weather Service in this time. In fact, the National Weather Service had brought in extra people to make sure that they were fully staffed. The alerts went out. That's not even in question. So this is all the Democrats trying to stir up a scandal when there is just tragedy, and a massive tragedy. And instead, they're looking for something, anything, so that they can try to gain points politically with the people. And you are hearing from some of them who have nothing but hatred on their minds. This is a disgraceful moment for Democrats and liberals in this country. It is an utter disgrace what these people are saying, what they're doing, what their leaders are saying, what they're trying to do, it's a disgrace. But that won't stop them from being who they are. Now, what else is a disgrace? A disgrace is the way that liberals are still going on and on about immigration. We have a few to play for you. U.S. Acting Attorney Nancy Larson spoke about something that happened in Texas. And let's just hear it. Cut one, Carlos. Let's just hear the report from, again, U.S. Acting Attorney Nancy Larson.
We're here to tell you that late at night on July 4th, Friday night at approximately 10:37 p.m. at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center in Alvarado, Texas, 10 to 12 individuals dressed in black military-style clothing began shooting fireworks and engaging in acts of vandalism at the facility. And this was part of an organized attack. Today, my office has charged 10 individuals with 3 counts of attempted murder of a federal officer. Each of the 10 are also charged with 3 counts of discharging a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. Each of these defendants faces a mandatory prison term of 10 years and up to life in prison. An additional co-conspirator was charged with obstruction of justice and conspiracy for attempting to conceal and destroy evidence in relation to the attack, and he faces up to 10 years in prison. Let's discuss the incident. It was a planned ambush with the intent to kill ICE corrections officers. Make no mistake, this was not a so-called peaceful protest. It was indeed an ambush.
Now, what happened there, you heard her mention the fireworks, but the fireworks weren't all. They were vandalizing it. They were writing such things as ICE, pig, around the detention center and parking lot. They were interceded upon by correctional officers, but 2 of these suspects later fired 20 to 30 rounds, gunfire, at federal and local officers, wounding 1 Alvarado officer in the neck. It was a planned ambush, and that's what she was saying. They were trying to lure them out. It was a planned ambush with the intent to kill ICE corrections officers. Police found 2 AR-15s, used AR-15 casings, body armor plate carriers, loaded magazines near the scene. 10 arrests, and then 1 accomplished for trying to get rid of the evidence. Where's all this stuff coming from? Well, you know, ICE had a raid at MacArthur Park in California, Los Angeles. Cut 2, Karen Bass remarks that she went there to try to intercede. This is what she said afterwards.
So this morning it was frightening in Los Angeles to see tanks essentially rolling onto MacArthur Park. I watched a video a little later to see the troops along with mounted patrols marching through in formation at MacArthur Park, where the children that were there for their summer day camp had to leave and go into a building. So they had to hide the children because they didn't want the children to see that the park was being taken over by ICE. It was an egregious show of force. I have no idea what their purpose was. I don't even think they detained anybody. At this point in time, I think they just want to sow terror and fear around our city. And every now and then, the military, the Custom and Border Patrol, or some other federal office shows up. Los Angeles was peaceful before June 5th. We need to go back to that. Thank you.
So once again, she's calling basically those people enforcing immigration law terrorist. And she's been doing that. Now, she says she doesn't know. There wasn't anything in there. I want you to listen to this. Cut 9, a woman who happens to be there. It might explain why there were, quote unquote, no arrest. Cut number 9.
All right, I am in MacArthur Park. As you can see, it's completely cleared out. ICE and DHS just completely raided the park. Over 150 officers, authority personnel. They had fully militarized vehicles, horses. They were armed to the gild. Activists came in through here 15 minutes before they raided the park and cleared as many people out as they could. It's a crazy scene here. basically people chased them away, so they didn't actually get to take anyone away. They used it as a photo op.
I just want you to hear that part. Activists came into the park 15 minutes before ICE arrived and got people out. What does that tell you? There was a leak of the operation. Activists came into the park. Play that from the beginning and listen to that. So she's saying very clearly that before the raid began, people were warned. One more time from the beginning.
All right, I am in MacArthur Park. As you can see, it's completely cleared out. ICE and DHS just completely raided the park. Over 150 officers, authority personnel. They had fully militarized vehicles, horses. They were armed to the gild. Activists came in through here 15 minutes before they raided the park and cleared as many people out as they could. It's a crazy scene here.
Yep, exactly. And there need to be some answers about that and that part of the mission. Meanwhile, the Customs and Border Patrol Sector Chief Greg Bovino basically is the one Karen Bass went to MacArthur Park to complain to, and he had some remarks. Cut 3 after she left, and this is what the chief said.
The federal government is not leaving L.A. I don't work for Karen Bass. The federal government doesn't work for Karen Bass. We're going to be here till that mission's accomplished, as I said, and better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon.
Cut 8. This is, again, the language that's being used to describe what's going on in Los Angeles. This from one of the activists.
What's happening here in the city of Los Angeles, we are the canary in the coal mine. What you see happening in MacArthur Park is coming to you. $140 billion new budget for ICE. What do you think that's going to do? That's going to transport what's happening here in our neighborhoods to your front doorstep. So wake up.
Yeah, wake up indeed. Stephen Miller and also DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin had some words to say about this incident and the way that ICE is being portrayed. Let's start with Tricia McLaughlin, cut 4.
I want to ask Karen Bass, who is she protecting? Is it the MS-13 gang members we're going after? Is it the child rapists? Is it the drug traffickers? Which of the violent criminals who are terrorizing Los Angeles streets is she trying to protect? Because it certainly is not American citizens or her own constituents. We know that in the past 150 days under President Trump and Secretary Noem, we've arrested almost 600 known or suspected terrorists, 2,700 members of Tren de Aragua. And for viewers who are not familiar with Tren de Aragua, they're a vicious, highly sophisticated gang who kills, rapes, and maims Americans for sport. They enrich themselves by sex trafficking young women. They have walked with impunity on America's streets for 4 years, and under President Trump, no more. Charlie, tragically, it's a 700% increase in assaults against our ICE enforcement officers. They're simply just doing their jobs. DHS is a law enforcement agency, and they are enforcing the law. And what these Democrat politicians continue to do, whether it be Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, Tim Walz, or AOC, is they villainize, demonize, and attack our ICE enforcement officers, and they give a free pass and actually egg on these unhinged lunatics who go after our ICE enforcement officers. Like you mentioned, these 2 violent assaults in Texas, we saw it over the weekend, and Portland as well. This has to stop. It is incumbent upon Democrat leaderships to call this off, because we're seeing open season against our law enforcement. This administration under President Trump and Secretary Noem, we are not having it, and if you put a single hand on our law enforcement, you will be arrested, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, the liberals are putting hands on it. Stephen Miller was on Fox, and he had this to say about what is happening to Border Patrol, ICE agents, etc.
There is an insurrectionist movement in the Democratic Party that is inspiring domestic terrorism against ICE. When you have the mayor of Los Angeles mobilizing agitators, mobilizing the mob against ICE, saying that federal law enforcement has to leave her city This is a settled constitutional question. Federal law is the supreme law of the land. You cannot nullify it. You cannot succeed from it. It is the law of the United States of America. So these insurrectionist Democrats are every day engaging in rhetoric that is incentivizing, that is encouraging, that is fomenting violent terrorist attacks against ICE and ICE officers. Not only in the shootings that you've seen recently, but ICE officers are being doxxed. Their families and children are being threatened. Their addresses are being posted online. They are being subjected to a campaign of terror by these radical Democrats.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, on a somewhat different note, coming out of Hollywood, many of you know that there is a new Superman movie. I guess this is about the gazillionth Superman reboot in the last, 15 years. It's like, how much really? Another Superman movie. Yet another one. And this guy, James Gunn, another Hollywood type, was asked about the new Superman movie, which I guess he whatever. Anyway, he's the filmmaker, whatever. This is what he had to say. Cut 7, Mr. Superman movie.
It is exactly what the movie is about, I think, that, like, we support our people, you know? We love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant, and yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants, and if you don't like that, then you're not American. People who...
So I guess he makes no differentiation between immigrants and illegal immigration. It's fairly easy to hear what his point was, and you're not an American unless you agree with him and Mr. Superman, the new Superman, the leftist new, I guess, illegal immigrant Superman. These people take the joy out of everything. James Golden, Snerdley. The fastest hour in American media continues. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes, my friends, just a quick note. The woman that we played yesterday, that Sadie Sade imitation, like that hateful person, her reverend, her boyfriend is a white guy, reverend, giving her racist remarks about white people. It seems sort of, I don't know. But anyway, he's the senior minister at the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston, and he apologized to his congregation for his girlfriend, Sadie Perkins. I wonder how that's making the relationship go. And he wanted to make it abundantly clear, I apologize to my congregation. I will continue to work to repair the harm that this incident has caused. Her comments have caused harm to many who are experiencing terrible loss and anxiety. Her comments were not in the spirit of the Unitarian Universalist values centered around love that my congregation and I share. Now, yesterday I mentioned we had a guy that wanted to talk about freedom. It's Ebonic. This is a guy just sitting on a park bench, just doing it. Listen to this. I call it Ebonic freedom.
I realized this was freedom. I've been so stuck and conditioned to believe I had to be doing all this and all that, going so fast to hurry up and get somewhere, not realizing I was free. I can sit here all day and not have to do I can go anywhere I want to go and do anything I please. That's true freedom. Not just because you got to have a pocket full of money, because you got to have the nicest car, you got to have the nicest crib, you got to have the most... Actually being able to slow down in life and see the trees, hear the birds, listen to the water, watch the bugs fighting, whatever the... But that's true freedom. And I feel like we be in such a rush to keep up with what society make us feel like we supposed to have or how far we supposed to be that we miss life. And it really feel good to experience this. So I hope a lot more people come out here and like relax, take a deep breath, and see like you actually okay. Life actually ain't that bad, and the damn sure ain't as fast as they make it seem.
Well, that's it for the day, my friends. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me and allowing me to be with you. God willing, we are all back tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
When you're having a baby, there's a lot on your mind. At Northwell's Staten Island University Hospital, you can rest easy with our reimagined labor and delivery experience. Our new Grapuso Women and Newborn Center provides private suites, overnight accommodations for a loved one, and a top-level NICU. All powered by the team that cares for the most moms and babies in New York. It's care made for Staten Island and made for you. Visit northwell.edu/newbaby. Staten Island University Hospital. Raise health.